Howdy everyone, my name is Griffin Furlong. I'm a professional engineer in the state of Florida, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to quickly obtain a pre-development discharge rate and volume using HydroCAD. After this video, you will understand how to collect your rainfall depth, your hydrologic soil group, and create a model in HydroCAD to get your pre-development runoff. But I'm ready to dive into it, so let's get to it. All right, the first thing that we have here is HydroCAD. So HydroCAD is open. I've already created a project, and all you do is open up HydroCAD. It'll ask you where to save your project. Now, the first thing that I want to do, because I think it's always so important, you have to set up your rainfall events. It's one of the most important things. If you get this wrong, then your whole model is bogus. So in order to actually set up these storm events, you will go up here to Settings and Calculation. Notice how we have a few tabs up here. You can choose your runoff method. I would always suggest you understand your municipality requirements. Some municipalities give you some freedom to use the rational method. Me personally, I like using the SCS method, but that's just me. With the SCS method, you can enter in some curve numbers in time of concentration, so I'm going to use that method. As far as these other methods here, I'm not going to press anything. I'm going to leave them as so. The second tab is the rainfall tab. Here you can enter in your storm type, and notice how you have a whole bunch of selections. All these are dependent on your location. However, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom to type, you can choose a very standard type 2 24-hour rainfall event. And all this is a rainfall distribution curve. It affects how the amount of rainfall is distributed across your basin that you are choosing. So it can impact the timing of your storm event. If you're unsure, make sure you just read through your code requirements. For this instance, we are going to do a Florida project, and I'm just going to do this type 2 Florida 24-hour storm type. Next is understanding our depth. This is one of the most important things right here. We already know that we're going to do a 24-hour storm duration, but now we need the amount of rainfall in inches. We read the jurisdictions code, and we need to design per the 25-year, 24-hour storm event. So I'm going to go ahead and just type that in here. 25-year, 24-hour, but now I need my depth. So I'm going to go to the NOAA rainfall, and you can do this by just going to Google and typing in NOAA rainfall amounts. I have the location set right here. You can search it by address. This is going to be our example project location. Now, if I scroll down on the page, notice how I'm showing all of the different rainfall amounts in a tabular form. Up here in these rows shows the recurrence interval, which is, the 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, and so on. So right here is the column that we need. We need the 25-year storm. Now we're going to correspond it to the duration. Since we're using a 24-hour duration, I'm going to go right here and select 9.24 inches. Notice how below you have a range. So at some points, during the 24-year, 25-year, there could be up to 12.2 inches. But on average, this 25-year, 24-hour storm is 9.24 inches. So I'm going to go back to WaterCAD, and I'm going to input 9.24. And then let's see. Then I'm going to hit save. So now we've saved our storm event, and I'm going to apply it. And I'm going to go to this next tab here. So we've set up our rainfall amount. I'm not really worried about any of the other inputs. I want this time span to start at 0 hours, and I want to run it to like 72 hours. I think I'm ready to go with this. So we've set up our storm. You can toggle your different storm events here. I only happen to enter one storm event. You can enter in multiple. So what I love about HydroCAD is how easy it is. It's pretty straightforward. We are going to be using a subcatchment here. We're not going to use a reach, pond, or link. I'm going to go ahead and just grab this subcatchment, and I'm going to right click it and edit. So what I want to call this is pre-development. I'm going to give it our area. Our area for this site is a 2.5 acre site. Now we need our CN. I've already made a ton of videos about how to calculate curve numbers, guys, so I'm not going to sit here and walk through that. If you're interested in how to do that, I have other videos. However, one thing I did want to show you is that you can use the web soil survey to understand the hydrologic soil group. If you've never used this before, and if you're in the United States, I highly suggest you do so. So I'm on the web soil survey. I've entered in my address, And now I'm going to select an area of interest right here. I'm going to highlight this area of interest because this is where our project is. Now that I've selected my area of interest, I'm going to go up here to Soil Data Explorer. There's a tab up here. Next, I'm going to go to the Soil Properties and Qualities tab. Then I'm going to go down to Soil Qualities and Features. And notice right here how you have a hydrologic soil group. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And then I'm going to select View Rating. Now I can see the hydrologic soil group rating of this site. It looks like we have Orangeburg Urban Land Complex, which I honestly don't really know what type of soil that is, but it has a B rating. A B rating tells me that it's okay. It's okay soil. It's not a C or a D, where C and D soils are less permeable, meaning water's not going to infiltrate into them. So since it's a B rating, that tells me that our CNs, they're gonna be further away from the value of 100 because a curve number is a value anywhere between 1 to 100. And this is just a barren land, so really just for kicks, I'm going to select a CN of 70. Again, make sure you do your curve number calculations, understand what the land really is, do your breakdown of pervious and existing impervious area because that can directly affect your CN value. Next is your time of concentration. So I'm going to go ahead and double click, and you have all of these different options, which I love. You can get really complex in here and you can calculate your sheet flow and shallow concentrated flow, but you can also just do a direct entry, and I think that's easier. So I'm going to just do this description here and just do TC and enter in the number of minutes the TC is. I've already done this calculation and I've walked through how to do this on multiple projects. This is all about a HydroCAD lesson. So again, go watch my other videos. But I'm going to enter in 20 minutes here. I'm going to go ahead and press OK, apply, OK. And guys, now we're ready to run the model. It's as simple as that. In order to run HydroCAD, all I have to do is double click it and look what it gives. I kind of want to give note to something here. It'll give you some messages, and if you're seeing all green, that means that you're able to run it. If you see any red, it's typically a warning, so you may want to solve those warnings. I'm gonna go ahead and expand this table because I actually really love HydroCAD's tables and their hydrographs. So essentially what this is telling us, there is a max flow generated of 8.14 CFS. What it did was it distributed the amount of inches, which was 9.24, across that whole basin area. It also gives us a runoff volume in acre feet, which is really nice because sometimes you have to give that to your municipality. And you can also look at this in a table format or 2D. So if you don't like this 3D format, you can go to 2D and get a graph there. Or you can go to a table, get the table of this hydrograph. It actually shows you the amount of precipitation. So notice how the max precipitation is 9.24. That's because that's what we entered into the program. We said that there was a maximum of 9.24 inches across this site. Now, here's another thing that I love about HydroCAD is if you have a whole bunch of storm events in here, you can go to update and it'll give you a list of all the storm events, the rainfall amounts, and the runoff discharge rates and volumes. It's just really clear to show to your reviewers. Last but not least, and I know that this is quick, but we have a summary table, and I love the summary table. This is going to be what you print out to your reviewers and put in your stormwater reports. Once we actually develop a post-development model with the pond and a culvert and weir, this will get way more detailed. That's honestly all I have for today, guys. I wanted to show you how easy it was to set up a HydroCAD model. You can start pulling your pre-development discharge rates. Then we can start setting up our post-development model to match those discharge rates. If you have any questions or are unsure about anything that I mentioned in this video, feel free to comment below. Appreciate everyone tuning in, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace out.